Good evening, everyone. It's the West Ham Minds channel, Europa League knockout last 16 stage. It's just finished. First leg, Freiburg 1, West Ham United 0. Complete fucking shit show. Lack of ambition from the manager. I don't know what to make of David Moyes. I'm just sick of it. You know, he wins 2 games back to back. I feel sorry for him again. And he does this today. Complete game mismanagement. No substitutions till the last few minutes of the game. And again, you're chasing a game. You know you're much better than that team. It's there on the plate. All the commentators are saying that. I can see it. They're there for the taking. Make the substitutions. Be more adventurous. We don't need so many defenders at the back. Take the chances. Chance after chance went begging because we haven't got striker. I'm just sick of saying this. It's just happened again. And he just one track pony. He just thinks that I'm stubborn. I'm not going to do anything different. And it's fine. Antonio came on 91st, 92nd minute. Calvin Phillips came on before him. You're chasing a game, or certainly you're looking for that first goal, and you bring Ward-Prowse off, who's got that set piece thing in him, and then you bring Calvin Phillips on. Can anyone in this chat let me know? Yeah, why would you bring Calvin Phillips on and take Ward-Prowse off when the opposition are there for the taking? And you've fluffed chance after chance after chance because you think it's going to be Everton again, or you think it's Brentford again, but you've forgotten the previous 6 games. This is why at the business end of the season, you spend millions on your squad, on your bench, on your strikers. This is why it's not about where you are in the league in January, December. No, it's about what you do as a club, as a squad from February, March to May. That's why you look at the league tables, always the same teams, because it's the bench, it's the squad, it's the game management. And at the business end of this Europa League competition, everyone, it's very, very frustrating that we didn't even get a draw. We were so much better than them, man for man. Certainly in terms of the money spent, the talent we got out there. But you could just see the ambition from the manager was just not there. You know, you could see what the difference was, that we're making chances, we're getting chances. Let's bring... You got Danny Ings, Antonio, right? I didn't even see the bench. Let me see the bench. Was Danny Ings in there? Let's have a look at it. Let's look at the lineups. On the bench, everyone, we've got... Let's have a look. Where the hell's it gone? Okay, so we've got Danny Ings on the bench. We've got Johnson, Mubama, Ogbonna, Antonio. So Antonio, like you said, he's kind of... This website doesn't even mention Antonio on the bench. What the fuck is going on here, mate? But anyway, there was about 2 free strikers on the bench, and he brings Calvin Phillips on first. Absolutely nuts. Frustrating, pulling your hair out, headbutting walls. Moisey, seriously, mate, I don't know what to do with you. When the draw came, I thought we'd done well to draw Freiburg. We've beaten them twice. I don't care about what they've done against Bayern Munich. I keep telling you, the other leagues, apart from the Premiership, are piss poor. Man for man, they're shit. And they were there for the taking, right? And we have completely fucked it up. Okay, we could go through. We probably go through. That's kind of not the point. The point isn't that we're going to go through, could go through. The point is that total lack of ambition from the manager, game mismanagement, not making any subs, 3 strikers on the bench, none of them came on. Antonio came on after 91, 92 minutes. And Frankie, hope you're doing well, mate.
How are you, mate? You good?
No, it's one of those days where I'm pulling my hair out, I'm headbutting walls, mate. They were there for the taking, man for man, so much better for them. No substitutions, mate, till really late in the game, and Calvin Phillips coming on for Ward-Prowse, and you're looking for a goal, mate. I am completely baffled. But before you joined, I'm just putting my game out. We're Moisey, one track pony. Thinks it's always going to happen for him at some point. Paqueta's looking at the bench, wanting to come off like with 10, 15 minutes to 20 minutes to go. Doesn't do anything, mate. They've done 2, 3, 4 subs, helped them, got the goal. We didn't even get a draw. Forget getting the win, mate. Business end of the season where the men separate from the boys, mate. The squads, you know what it's all about. You know, we got 3 strikers on the bench. I don't want to go into whether they're in form or not. All those chances, mate, professional striker, I'm sure one of them would have gone in, mate. And that's where I'm coming from. It's a big chance gone, mate, for me. Like, tonight, I think we should have done it.
Mate, the only positive is we haven't sold many tickets for Thursday night, and hopefully people will get over there now because we've got a big job on our hands to try and beat this mob now. So we are going to have to get behind them, and we are going to have to cheer them on if we want to see ourselves in the next round, mate. But no, I echo everything that when I joined that you were saying. Just a complete and utter lack of ambition, mate. Just at half time, I sat there and my dad phoned me at half time, and I said to him, "Look, there's only one result here. If he changes nothing, they win 1-0. That was the result. Said it at half time. If this game carries on the way it is, it will be 1-0 to them." And that's exactly what's happened. And it makes you wonder, mate. You just sit there and you just think, what does David Moyes watch? What are the other people around him watching? Because if we can all sit here and see exactly what's coming, why can't he, mate? If he had to do, and I'm not a big Antonio fan, mate.
No,
but that game was made for him tonight. That game was absolutely just set up for an Antonio to come on and smash his way through him and try and get that goal that we need to make it an easier job on next Thursday. But instead, mate, we find ourselves behind, and we've got a big job on our hands. Come Thursday night, mate.
Majority of the game there wasn't much to write about, talk about, first half especially. But the thing with Moyes always comes through for me. He's so stubborn, so stuck up. We've won those 2 games back to back. I get that. He just doesn't change anything till really late in the game. Even the commentators who are neutral saying West Ham have got this. They got it in the bag. They're definitely better to them. We know this. They're going to do it. But to weigh it up, we missed some sitters, I thought, out there, which is fine. For me, again, I'm such a fan of strikers, as you know. I just bang my head every week wishing that I'll dream when we got a striker, because that's why they cost the most money. That's their expertise. They can finish. You can put Bowen, Paqueta in most games. Yeah, I know we've done well. We score lots of goals. Like, I get that. Bowen, he set Bowen a target 20 goals a season. But for a majority of that game, we were struggling to get more than 2 people in the box on the break. And they just didn't have any finish in them, you could tell. A lot of empty seats, I think my son noticed, for a Germany sort of game at home for a German club as well. It's the business end, Frankie. And when we haven't got a striker playing, 1 or 2 chances go missing, mate. And I think that's the difference, mate. We didn't have a proper striker. And I know Paqueta very careless in 1 or 2 situations and putting it in the net, and Bowen, Kudos had a couple of shots as well. Emerson, I'm told, I wasn't in the room when it happened, and they scored when for the first time in the game, I went out the room for 1 minute and they scored, and I heard Emerson's a head injury. That could be all right. But it's just David Moyes' ambition, mate. Just putting 1 or 2 people up front who are strikers and showing a bit of ambition, a bit of risk, a bit of, what we like. And now we're facing, we're 1-0 down. And I think drawing Freiburg in the draw, I think it was a great draw for us, wasn't it? When you look at the other clubs around us, I thought, I'll take that, if you want to progress to the last 8. And listen, okay, we could or should or would, and all those words I don't like to use, should go through still, but it's not a good thing, mate. And luckily away goals wouldn't have counted anyway. We didn't score an away goal, but it's, I don't know, mate. It's just like, I think tonight, I would have been disappointed with a draw, Frankie. I would have been pissed off with a draw 0-0. And now it's gone even worse.
I mean, that's what Moyes wants. Moyes has always said in these European games, no matter who it is we've played on the away leg, he's always said, as long as we come back and we've got at least a draw in the away leg, if it's the first leg, and you bring them back to your place, then it's set up for you, and all you've got to do is win your home game. So that's Moyes' attitude, why he takes that attitude. I mean, look, we're all sitting here, we're all going to complain. It's hard to complain because it's worked out for him over the last year, and he's ended up winning the trophy off the back of it. But at the end of the day, mate, this is the trophy that he didn't manage to get, because this is a tougher, proposition, mate. If you look at the matches that were played tonight in the Conference League versus what was played tonight in the Europa League, the teams are different gravy, mate. This is a different caliber of team that you got to play in this league. And when we come up against, in this tournament, when we come up against the first live team that we had in the Europa League originally in Frankfurt, we didn't even get out of the races, mate. Across the two legs of that tie, we didn't get going at any point, and it came and went. It just passed us by, mate. We're in a really dodgy situation. I really struggle to feel hard done by when you don't even try and win a football match. I don't think they're that good a side. They're fairly organised, mate. I mean, they're not a poor side, but they're not a good side. I felt at times in that match, if Moyes wanted to get them on the front foot and take the reins off of them, then we can go and win that football match, no problem at all. But he kept the reins on. Paqueta looked, I don't know what happened to him in that last half hour. That last half hour, he was all over the place. He wasn't tracking back. It seemed, do you know what it seemed like to me? It seemed like Paqueta just was so frustrated that Moyes wasn't allowing us up the pitch, that he went two fingers up to him, and I'm just going to keep up here now. I'm not going to track back. I'm not going to drop deep. We're too good for that. That the people who are, in the defensive roles or in the deeper roles should be able to get the ball and get it to me. And I should be further up the pitch here. And he literally, there was one where Ward-Prowse done a track back. This was late in the second half. And nearly got to the man. It moved over to Paqueta's side. Paqueta looked, half thought about should I go with him or not, and then thought, no, I can't be bothered. And then Ward-Prowse saw that and went, oh, I've got to try and track this geezer now. Ward-Prowse had to cover all the ground, track him, win the ball. And, and Paqueta just sort of turned around and just went, no, I'm not going to play on the back foot. We need to try and get a goal. We need to be further up the pitch. But then that made it disjointed. It made the balance all over the place. Mate, I just think I struggle, mate. We haven't tried to win that football match, and we've got pretty much exactly what we deserved. And everyone had been moaning about that incident at the end and the fact that was it a penalty? Wasn't it a penalty? Was it handball? Wasn't it handball? Mate, the point of the matter is we should not be relying on a 94th minute VAR decision to get something out of that match. We should have already done it. And with the players that we had on the pitch in Paqueta and Kudus and Bowen and Alvarez and everything else, mate, we should have been far more on the front foot than we were. And we should have taken that tie by the scruff of the neck, and we should be going back to London Stadium with a much more comfortable night, mate. But like I said, it sparks a bit of life into the tie. We're behind. We've got to get over there on Thursday now. We've got to make noise, and we've got to get behind the boys. And if we don't, and we have that same attitude, and we come out with that same negativity, and it's a half-empty stadium like it was in the first time we played this mob, then you can find yourself going out, mate. And then the European journey will all be over. So the players have got a big job Thursday night, and so have we.
Well, the thing is, Frankie, a couple of things like, we can't afford for them to score because that's two then, isn't it? And we got to get 2-3, and we'll see how that goes. And then even if it was a penalty, mate, was holding the ball in his hand, don't you? Antonio, our favourite friend.
Well, I'm hoping that he was doing that. What's that thing they do now, don't they, in this modern day football? They get a different player to hold the ball. Then their teams who want to play mind games case the bloke who's holding the ball. But before they actually take it in the last second, he would have handed it over to Bowen, and Bowen would have taken it. So I'm hoping that's what he was doing, because if he would have stepped up to strike it, mate, I would have had no confidence whatsoever.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think we could have, I mean, again, it's one of those games again. I hate saying it after Souček's blinding volley at the weekend, but he didn't really offer much. Again, if there's no goals from Souček, then we try to remember what did he do, and not much. But mate, not the biggest thing of the game, or was it perhaps, was, mate, when you look back at that Freiburg goal, Zuma, mate, oh my God. Oh, it's coming to an end for him, isn't it, mate? Oh,
big time, mate. I mean, but to be fair, in all honesty, because of all of the
Mm,
sort of the aerial challenge that we had tonight, he actually didn't
mm,
have a bad game. I was a bit worried about him before the match,
yeah.
and I really was concerned, but actually they had this sort of game plan that they was going to put a lot of early balls into the box early on, and actually it was quite handy that we had him in there because he did mop up quite a lot of them. So on that basis, we know he's still got that aerial ability, and that was all right. But like you say, mate, how many times this season has he switched off and let players drift in between him like that? We've seen it time and time again. It's not the first time it's happened, and as soon as he's not got the play in front of him and it goes behind him, mate, we know he can't turn, can he? It takes him an eternity to turn. So, yeah, mate, it's a tough one. And mate, I was surprised Cresswell coming on like he did as well was a strange old change to me. I didn't quite understand that. To be fair, mate, I was a bit nervous about Fabianski coming in tonight because I know everyone
Mm,
says, oh, well, we've got our Premier League keeper and we've got our cup goalkeeper. I think it's very different when you've got a youthful Areola in his prime starting a match when he hasn't played for a few weeks versus a 38, 39-year-old who hasn't played for a long period of time. And then he's got to come into
yeah.
a live, European match where everything's on the line, knockout. And I was really nervous that he'd get caught cold tonight, Fabianski. I mean, he wasn't great from that. I'm not putting any blame on the goalkeeper here, but he wasn't great from the goal either. I would have liked to have seen him at least make an effort to spread himself across the goal rather than just standing there going, "Oh, what's happened?" But yeah, mate, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
There was a few odd things that we saw tonight, but very typical David Moyes odd things. You know what I mean? It's the same old rubbish that we see from him. That's just so frustrating. I cannot believe it took as long as it did to get Antonio on that pitch. Really, really, just can't understand it. And not only that, mate. I think this experiment, Bowen down the middle. Why Bowen will get goals against lesser defenders, against lesser teams, and he'll be able to drift in little pockets of space and whatever. I still think his best position's on the right. Once he moved over to the right in this game, in the second half, he put that ball across to Paqueta, and you think, mate, you've just got to, and it was just exactly what Bowen does best, was beat players down that line, get the ball across, cut inside. It's such a shame that we've got two players in Kudus and Bowen that are both just that I just think both of their best position is coming in from the right hand side, mate. I think, but it's but I still think I would prefer it the other way around. I think Kudus has got more strength. I think he's got
Mm,
more just the right sort of attributes to be a centre forward. If you had Kudus and Bowen sitting there and it was the start of the season, you go pick one to be your centre forward and pick one to be your right winger. For me, Kudus is the one that I'm trying to make us the centre forward. The fact that he'd be able to drop deep, the fact that he could pick the ball up, the fact that he'd be able to, hold the play
mm,
up better than Bowen can and play off. For me, it just makes sense. So I don't know, mate.
mm,
It's we've
yeah.
got a fantastic front line that tonight have just been totally ineffective and haven't got us a goal in a game that I feel like they should have, mate. So yeah,
Yeah,
worrying
yeah.
times.
Yeah, all we've needed was like a focal point up front to bring the 3, 4 players behind together, like Paqueta, Kudus and Bowen. That's all we've needed, a focal point up front. He holds it up, swings it left, swings it right, like a bit of a Solanke. That's all we've needed. And you put it on Solanke's head 3, 4 times in the game, one will go in or he'll do something else that's worthy. But mate, it's like you said, my son went to the Goodison Park game, we all saw it live. And again, Frankie, you to say more than me, how did we win that? Because Everton were just as good as us. They could have, like, Calvin Lewin went in a couple of
Yeah,
times. It's just, I don't know if it's the Moyes
yeah,
luck, but then he believes in it, doesn't he? That let's
I
do that
know.
again.
But
Yeah.
I said it, mate. Coming off the back of them two games, Brentford. What people failed to understand was Brentford are in dire straits. Brentford could go down, mate. They are in banging trouble. They are hovering above that drop zone, 16th when we played them. Can't win a game to save their life. They've even got beat by Sheffield United recently, and how bad is Sheffield United? Brentford aren't that team that were our bogey team that were fighting for European places. Brentford are struggling desperately to win football matches, just as bad as we was at that time. So I wasn't fooled by the Brentford performance. It didn't spark any confidence into me that we'd turned the tide. And Everton, mate, somehow we've ended up winning that in stoppage time. Again, just didn't fool me, mate. First half was terrible. I wasn't fooled by any of it. There hasn't been no corner turn. There hasn't been no change in setup. There hasn't been no change in attitude. There hasn't been no change in attacking intent. There hasn't been any of that. All that was, we ended up playing two bad teams. That's what it was. We played two really, really poor sides. We managed to scrape a couple of wins through. We needed it. That was good. But I certainly wasn't sitting here thinking, right, we're going to kick on now for the end till the end of the season. I thought tonight was always. I had conversations with my pal Beck earlier on. He phoned me up and said, you know, what we doing about Thursday night? And I said, I think we'll have to get over there early doors, and I think it's going to be an interesting evening because I can't see us winning tonight. I couldn't see us winning that game tonight, mate. I didn't. I just felt they would sort of have the right attitude. I thought they would have just come out and just thought, you know what, you've beat us twice, but we ain't going to be turned over here. I knew they was going to come out quick, which they did. They put us under the cosh the first sort of 15 minutes or so. Could have had a goal within the first minute, mate. They had an opportunity right at the beginning there. So, you know, I knew it was going to be a tough old evening. I knew Moyes was going to do exactly what Moyes did. And I knew we'd find it difficult. I always picked that it'd be 1-0 to them. At half-time, I thought, right, Moyes, you've done what you always do. You've gone away from home. You've been negative, but we've gone in 0-0 at half time. Now we've seen that they're not that great. Now let's kick on and win this football match. Let's make a change. Let's do something. And he did nothing. He did nothing. And we all said at half time, mate, if he don't make a change, this will be 1-0 to them because they're the only team that will score. And that's how it ended up, mate. That's how it ended up. So we got what we deserved. We got what we knew kind of would happen. And now it's all on Thursday night, mate. We've got to come out of a different attitude, more positive, more attacking intent, and to try and keep our season going.
Well, tell you what, if we don't go through, then you and me will be there. We'll do a bit of noise on that, and the boys will be under pressure, whatever. But I'll go back to your point about Areola. That's a great point, mate. The bloke has just done a 10 out of 10 game, which goalkeepers don't do often in their career. And I don't give a shit about upsetting Fabianski. Stick Areola in there. I know perhaps that wasn't the major thing what went wrong or right tonight, but yeah, I would have stuck Areola in it. It's a business end of the competition. I'm going to do best for my club, for my team. Fabianski's old enough to take it in the balls and say, that's fine, mate, whatever. Just fucking do what's good for you. For all this stupid thing about playing second string goalkeepers in all the competitions, I don't get it. And they all copy each other. It's a trend that they all flipping do anyway. Did you think it was I thought it was a penalty because his arm was quite high, but he was arguing with VAR, Frankie, with that screen. It took 4 or 5 minutes. They told him it's a penalty, have a look, more or less, and he was arguing with them saying, and then I knew he wasn't going to give him. The more it carried on, the more verbal he got. I think that's given more than it ain't. But listen, I heard Brighton got tanked 4-0 and there's something controversial in that game. It's offside by miles, but I don't know. What do you think? Was it a penalty or not? Are you more upset about the whole Moyes game management, I think, isn't it?
I am, mate. I just, like I said to you, I just don't think we should have been relying on a moment like that to get something from the game. We should have already made and done what we needed to do. So, but in saying that, it's only the second time I've ever known it that a referee's gone to the screen and not changed the decision.
That's it.
It's only the second time that's ever happened. So it might have happened in other leagues, but from when I've been watching football, it's only the second time that when a ref's been asked to go and have a look, that he's been bold enough and strong enough to say, no, I don't agree that the decision should be overturned. So I don't know who that ref was. Apparently he was the ref that we had in the final.
He was all right, Frankie. Year. I think he was all right.
Yeah. I thought his overall performance was okay. There was one dodgy moment he had where he let a foul for them. He didn't give a foul to them. We went down the other end and Bowen was taken out closer. We had a free kick, but when Ward-Prowse, I don't know what he was doing, shooting from 40 yards. But there was another one where Bowen was taken out closer to the edge of their area. And the ref just let it go on. And it was almost like he thought, I'll let that one go down there. I have to let this one go. That was his only one dodgy moment that I thought, Look, mate, at the end of the day, I think the handball rule is weird these days. I don't think anyone knows what's handball and what's not handball. In what I've seen of late, if your arms are raised, they're above your shoulder, that should be given. Before, the reason I was late to hear is I was actually listening to the pundits talk about it, and they zoomed in on the ref talking to Moyes about why he didn't give it. The ref is saying that the reason he didn't give it is that Souček's come into the back of him, and it's Souček's contact that makes him raise his arms. And because it's the contact that's made him raise his arms, that's why it's not a penalty. So I don't know where everyone will agree with that, not agree with that. I don't know. I think the arms were already up. I think the arms are going up anyway. So for me, I think in the current day, with how the rules are, I would say it should have been given as a penalty. But yeah, who knows?
It's a referee who's doing his job too well, Frankie. Really thought about it, which I don't. Yeah, so okay, like you said, yeah, it's given. But then I always think, mate, even if we get it, it's only 50-50 we're going to score.
That's true.
There's only 50-50.
Well, if Antonio takes it, it'll be about 10% or 90%, mate. I wouldn't have fancied him one little bit.
Going to Sean's comment, mate, am I right in thinking, Frankie, Moyes ain't going anywhere till whenever his contract ends, and they're going to more or less let him walk away instead of saying we sacked? I think that's my understanding. He's not going. He's not going in. Yeah. So Sean, I know you said the earliest opportunity, mate. I don't think he's going anywhere now. As much emotional up and down I get sometimes, I think they don't want him. They've got some kind of relationship with him. They don't want him to sack him. They want to just walk away.
I think he's got too many, what's it called? Like allies there. I think Brady is so pro Moyes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. She is so pro Moyes. I just think he's got people there. Hey, that's what we want to see, mate. That's what we want to see.
Brady out. Yeah.
She's got to go, mate. She's got to go. Well, all of them have got to go. But yeah, we'll have him until the end. It's a shame, mate. The reason why it would be a shame is because if he stays till the end of the season and we don't get sort of 7th to get ourselves into Europe again next year, then it could be the end of the European journey. I just think we had a good enough side this year to have a real go at it. And unfortunately now we see ourselves a goal down and really, potentially slipping up against the side that we really should go through against. So I would have liked to have seen it done at Christmas, mate. I'd have liked to have seen it done. I'd have liked to have seen Steiden bring in the right man. I'd have liked to have seen money spent and then say, look, we're 6th in the table. We're still in Europe. Let's go and have a right go at making something happen here. But we've seen ourselves in that position many times now, and every time we show no ambition, we show no desire to want to kick on as a football club, and we ended up 1 step forward and 2 steps back, which is what West Ham always do. And I can see that being exactly what happens, mate. Go from European champions to no European football within the space of one season.
I know you hate transfer gossip and rumours, what could have been, what could have not, but not bringing the striker in, and then I've heard Sullivan is freaking out at Tim Steiten and Moyes' inability to sort that area out. That again just tells you what I summarised last week was, mate, that Moyes, he because of that age and that stubbornness and way of working, he's not going to work for a sporting director, and he's going to retire after one more job. So Steiten will bring someone in his own age, a little bit younger. He's going to be. I think the model is that the next manager, Frankie, I think it's going to be a coach, where the Watford, Brentford, Brighton model, where you're given players, aren't you, mate, and then you coach, and then hopefully the club understands that the coach plays good football, and that's a start. But that's the future model everyone's talking about, mate. I mean, not like a manager like Wenger, John Lyall, or Alex Ferguson, or Moyes controlling everything. And Tim Steiten is going to be the most important person at the club, isn't it, mate, for the fans?
He will be, mate. He will be. But as long as that relationship, we know he's not got a good relationship with Moyes, that can change. What won't change is his relationship with David Sullivan. David Sullivan does have to back him, and whoever that new manager comes in as, we can't have this. Oh, you two didn't sort it out. If that's happening, Sullivan's got to take it by the scruff of the neck and pull them both into a room and say, look, what the flipping hell is going on here? At the end of the day, ultimately, the buck stops with David Sullivan. He can't whinge about it once the window's closed. He should have been whinging about it halfway through. If it gets halfway through the window, he should have been going to the pair of them saying, what is going on? What are we doing? We know we need a striker. What's happening? What's going on? And he should have had it all sorted, mate. I know he's got to take a back step. I know he's got to employ people and we don't want him hands-on. We don't want Sullivan playing football manager with West Ham anymore and his kids involved in everything like that. We don't want that. But ultimately, he is still the main man in charge. He's the one who would sign the check. He knew what was going on, mate. He has these people in place. He's got Moyes in there. He's got Stuyton. The pair of them are just people that he can deflect blame onto if something doesn't go wrong. We accepted another window of no spend. How we did that when we've heard the financial situation, that we haven't got risks of financial fair play, that there's money to spend, that profitability has been good in the football club. We had the ability and resources to go and make more signings if we wanted to. Ultimately, I don't think Sullivan wanted to put his hand in his pocket, mate. I don't. He can blame the other two all he wants, but I don't think Sullivan wanted to spend.
Yeah, there's lots of worrying things off the playing pitch, like the ground, the future. I think I'm so jealous, mate, of even Everton's ground and Crystal Palace's plans, because it's their own baby. It doesn't matter if it's £1.10. When it's your own and you've hopefully spoken to the community and the fans about what should we do, what should we not, it's us, and that's never felt like ours. I fucking hate it. I go once a month, not even that now. I can't stand fucking that stadium, mate, but that's my point of view. I just hate the whole infrastructure, the area, the walk to it, all bollocks like that. I can't be fucking arsed with it, and that's, yeah, kind of worrying me. That's going to be the big focal point in the future. I mean, I'm surprised why one of his kids are not at the forefront more than him, where you see that kind of, the plan for succession. I don't see it. And you're right, when you look at the people in the board who vote for important decisions, there's only Tim Stuyton who could confront Sullivan. Everyone else is, like you said, it's the daughters' husbands, the daughters themselves, his own sons, people like Trip Smith, who he lends money, they lend money to him or whatever. You got
Kretinsky in there as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Kretinsky's the one who's the only one. I think he's the only one who perhaps has got a different opinion. He needs to buy a little bit more shares to get full control. He hasn't got a track record of being bothered too much. He's got other things going on in his portfolio. So, yeah, it's all those questions that are more important for me up in the air. It'd be interesting who comes in the summer. But, mate, we know our club. If Moyes gets another 2 years, I ain't going to say... I mean, it could happen. I don't know. Our club is pretty bonkers. But I think, like you, we're 7th in the league. We're 2 points behind Man United. But the way I think of it, like you, mate, I'm extra ambitious, extra hard on our club, because it should be looking at the size of it. I was looking that in 6th place, we should have been 6 clear of Man United. When you looked at December, going into that window, we were 5-6 clear of anyone guaranteed European spots comfortably, and we fucking fucked up the whole window, in my view. We bought someone who's... I like Calvin Phillips because I didn't think he was the only one coming. That's why I was jumping up and down. I didn't fucking know that he's the only one coming in. Then it's a completely different thing. I thought, yeah, all right, I ain't going to say no to him, and then we get the main striker and the winger in. But looking back, I mean, it happened to Arsenal, it happened to a few other teams, but like you said, they were never going to spend, were they, mate? It's just the fans were going mad.
I said it again.
They were never going to. Yeah.
Do you remember that last window that when we was doing shows, and I said, well, we won't spend any money this window, and everyone thought we would. This window was exactly the same. Unless we're in trouble, they don't spend money. If they don't have to, they don't do it. They'll never do it for ambitious reasons. They'll never do it for positive reasons. The only time they've ever gone into that window and spent money is if they thought our Premier League status could be on the line, which effectively is their profit within their business model for when they sell the club. That's the only time they spend. We were 6th. We were still in Europe. They didn't need to spend a penny. They weren't going to spend a penny, mate.
Yeah, I mean, there's rumours that David Moyes has always wanted the wing back system with the three centre backs, and we didn't get that guy who went to Juve. Begins with K. He's a very good wing back, very very good. That didn't come off for him, so that's been in the background. But I can only say what I see on the pitch, which is that throughout David Moyes' sort of when he's been at West Ham, it's always been one system, always been same subs after with 5 minutes to go, and not many youngsters bred in, whether it's wrong or right, and things like that. And now we're hearing Mubama's not going to get a contract. I don't want to go into that because, again, I just want to see them getting a handful of games, 90 minutes, then I can make them up. That's it. Rich has helped me out. Kostic, mate, he's doing really well for Juve still, mate. His stats are really, really good out there. Wing backs are very hard to find in the world, and he was certainly up there and thereabouts before he decided to sign for Juve, mate. But I think you're going to be there next week, aren't you? I'm going to be there.
Got to be there, mate. We've all got to be there because otherwise it could all be over. We've got to go and make a lot of noise and we've got to get behind them, mate. We've got to have a fast start. We've got to be more ambitious, more on the front foot, and we need to be right behind them. Mate, I know a lot of people moaned about the 5:45 kickoff, but because I have flexibility with the job that I do, I'm actually looking forward not having that issue of getting home, gone midnight and all that old caper. Do you know what I mean? So I'm all right with it.
Before you said that, I kind of got carried out, and I was like telling my son, "Oh, should we book a hotel then? Because we usually get hammered at the end of it, and we don't want to catch." He's like, "No, Dad, it's early." I said, "Yeah, good point, mate. Yeah, very, very good point." I used to, I know it's crazy me saying it, mate. I enjoyed the best times at London Stadium when we weren't in Europe. Saturday, 3:00.
Yeah, that's right.
I used to love it.
Yeah.
Used to get home, having such a lovely journey. Come get to the pub in Waterloo, which ain't no longer there. Yeah, I used to love it, but yeah, Sundays don't like it. Don't like Sunday kickoffs. I prefer Friday evenings. That would be wonderful if we could do Friday. Got the whole weekend free as well, mate. But apart from that, I think I'm frustrated. I'm angry. We're back to Moisey again, and like you said, he loses 5-6. He wins 2. He thinks he's God. Oh, I ain't gonna change anything. Hasn't got a strong backroom team who can tell him anything otherwise because they all leave after years, we know. Yeah, I don't get it, mate. And I've heard something flashed as a headline while I was talking to you. I think the pundits are shocked about Moyes and West Ham about something. So if we go back and watch all that when we kind of get offline, it's going to be... I think it's about the substitutions again, shocked about the tactics. Knowing that they were there for the taking... rattle it, bring a couple of people up front. And Antonio, they don't face people like Antonio a lot. He's quite big, brutal, physical, quite fresh, hardly played recently, and it would have been good, mate. But I think we will still go through, and I don't know why, but it's good for football that when European teams usually come away, to my surprise, they don't sit back a lot. So I don't know what they're going to do. If they sit back, I think we should be able to break through them, but if they get that goal on the break, so it's very easy, everyone. There's no away goals. It'll be penalties. It'll be decided on the night. I think we'd be all right. I don't know. What do you think, mate? I think we'll be all right.
Hey, I just read the because you said about that. I just had a quick Google of West Ham. Just seen Zuma's post-match interview where he said basically he feels like they got a little bit lucky. It is what it is. We move on. For me, that's not words of a captain. I want to hear we weren't good enough. It's not good enough. There'll be a big reaction next week. We'll show them what we're all made of. I want to see that. I don't want to hear, it is what it is. That ain't a captain for me, mate. You might have that from other players in your squad who are just there to give an interview and not upset the apple cart. But this is your captain. He's got to come out tonight and don't say it's luck. We were unlucky or they were lucky. Don't say, it just is what it is. We just, from a captain for me, mate. And I expected a bit more of a reaction. That isn't good enough tonight. Will never be good enough. All right, okay, they want to have it that way. It is what it is, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's fine. You better turn up big time on Thursday and show us what you're all made of. Because if you don't, it's going to look very, very silly.
That's a great comment because I think, like I said, I'll go back to my comment. I would have been pissed off with a draw tonight, everyone. Fuck the defeat. I would have been pissed off with a draw. And that thing, what Zuma's done, it's actually really, really bad thinking about it. You look back, everyone in the chat, Frank, it's really bad defending. He's embarrassed when there's a guy standing next to him and he just puts it in the net. And Zoom was like, I don't know if he's waiting for Agard, who used to do a similar thing. And was Agard on the bench, mate? I've heard there's something going on with him, mate. He wasn't even on the bench. I don't know.
I saw O'Connor was on the bench. I don't know whether Aguerd was.
No, he's not, mate. He's not. I think there's something going on with him. They're calling it like a. He keeps on missing games because he's got a cold, mate. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with that.
Isn't there? But that's not surprising, mate. There's always something going on with our squad because of the way Moyes treats people and the way that he, he upsets people. It's just it happens.
Yeah, but you're right. It's going to be extra pressure at home, and hopefully Moyes is pressurising to making the right attacking, ambitious decisions, really, because me and Frankie are going to be at the ground and we might run on the pitch. We'll see how it goes.
Well, it's a big couple of games, mate. Like I said, we've got Burnley, which we all know what happened on this day when we had Burnley on this day of the calendar before. It was very lively. There was a lot of pitch running at that moment.
Bubbles.
Yeah, that's it. So we've got that to contend with for this weekend. And mate, Burnley are awful, but we won't make easy work of that because we never do. So we've got to go and get a win there to keep our European hopes of next season alive and keep this season momentum going back in the right direction after an absolutely awful run. And then straight back into it the following Thursday. We've got this mob again, 1-0 down. Mate, it's going to be interesting to see how they approach it. Are they going to come and try and be positive and think if we score a goal, then it's going to be really hard for us to get back in it? Or are they going to come and try and shut up shop? It's going to be interesting.
The thing is Moyes going to play the same team again without a striker? I don't know. That's going to drive me mad. I know I don't like Antonio, but you're going to have to play him in that game.
Well, I think Antonio will be this weekend. I think we'll see him against Burnley. I think Antonio will start against Burnley because I think he'll be prioritising the Thursday night game. I think we'll see a little bit of switching around against Burnley, which could really backfire. But we'll see.
No, but do you think Antonio will start next Thursday?
I think isn't he? No, I don't think he will. I think he'll start the Burnley game, and I think Moyes will be. I think he sees tonight as the best way that our strongest starting lineup. So I think we'll line up similar, or I think we'll line up the same next Thursday. So.
What's your feelings on Ward-Prowse then? Like apart from the second,
he
does put it on a plate
tonight. He did work hard. He did work hard. I think it's hard, isn't it, mate? Because we saw in the earlier part of the season that when he's allowed to be in that sort of filling those bits in behind the attackers, he actually can nick you a goal, and he's got a bit of forward play. I actually think that's what this side's massively lacking because we have Paqueta on the left-hand side, who we sort of rely on almost being an inverted winger and actually trying to almost come in and do some of that number 10 role. That's what they try, and that's what Moyes tries to make happen. I think we lack that forward. We lack that ball to get us up the pitch. I think we look all the time. I think what we end up doing is going long out to Kudus on the right hand side, or we go out onto the left hand side. I'd love to see us play with more of a natural number 10, and Ward-Prowse can play that role really well. In the beginning part of the season, he is very good at sort of helping link up midfield and attack. Is he a CDM, which is pretty much how we play him, mate? He'll work hard. He'll give it all that he can. But I don't know, mate. I think I actually think there's a few of the boys that look tired. I think a few of the boys that are tired.
My tactics has always been Alvarez and Paqueta as the two CDMs, Kudos and Bone on the wings, and then look for the Maddison type as the new number 10 with the striker up front. That's the one. I know it's risky with the, but Paqueta's physical. He can hold it. He can do. But then when Paqueta is it, we've only got one creative player in the whole fucking team, and then it showed, didn't it, when he was out for 6-7 games. Yeah, we need that second outlet. We need that. They're out there, the Ian Bishops, the John Moncurs, the Benyuns, the Berkoviches. You got to find them, the ones that can pass it left, right, and they can hold it, can stick the foot in. We got to look for them. They're out there somewhere. You got to look for them instead of just one being a complete CDM, can't do nothing else, and either someone who can, like Lanzini, can spray it but can't do the other bit. That's the model I'm following. All right, it's a bit of a risk, and having used to bloody all the Moyes things 4 years, what he's been doing. But that's the thing I would do, mate. Yeah, Paqueta on the wing. I looked at it and I thought, not sure about this. Not sure about him hugging the touchline, and I don't know. Didn't
No,
feel
it was
right for
proven
me,
in the
mate.
second half tonight, mate. He was positionally awful in the second half tonight. He didn't know where he wanted to be. He didn't know when to track, when to stay up, when to move out into line, when to move inside. But it's not, like I say, it's not a natural left wing position. What they're asking him to do of cutting inside and trying to link up play, it's just a really weird position. What we've done is we've had to make almost a new position on a football pitch because we let all of our left-sided players go in the window. We didn't bring anyone in. We've got no one who can naturally play that role. We have to fit Paqueta in somewhere because we all know you can't drop Souček. You can't drop certain players. Alvarez is kind of making himself undroppable, although that ball that he gave away tonight just before their goal was terrible. So we've kind of made a position that we've for Paqueta all on his own just to try and get him into the starting 11. And it just unbalances the team for me, mate. The right-hand side of the pitch, different story. I think the right-hand side of the pitch, I would rather see Bowen out there than Kudus, and I'd rather see Kudus in the middle. But yeah, for me, it almost looks like it's just unbalanced, a little bit clueless. Same old Moyes story, mate. Doesn't really know the way to get the best out of the players, does he? And that's always been the case, you know what I mean? So...
like you said, we're a very expensive team when you go through the list and the money, especially the people not in the team. I mean, Gurdy's 33 million as an example, top of my head. But I'll leave everyone with the final thought, and Frankie's probably going to have a go at me. Frankie knows I love transfer windows. I love signings, mate. And when I heard that thing, that Zaha was put on a plate for us, I would have snapped him up. I'm a big fan of Zaha.
Yeah, but did he get wrapped round? Isn't there rumours about he got wrapped round Moyes' daughter or something? Weren't there something that went on there?
I don't know, but actually,
I'm sure
right. That rings a bell now.
Something went on. I don't know. I might be totally wrong and missing the thing.
I've heard something. I mean, that just rang a bell to me. I've forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
It could be, but for me, mate, he used to just say. Moyes would have loved it because he ran the whole Palace show by himself up front on his own. He did all that by himself anyway, and I would have taken it. He said no, it's frustrating, but could be, mate. I've heard that. Maybe you've heard it from you. I don't know. I have heard it. It rings a bell, mate, for me. But you're right. Yeah, we know what we need, where we need it. Centre back partnership is an issue, mate. We can't get the regular partnership going. It keeps changing every couple of weeks, and yeah, we don't have a lot of people coming through on that really. But yeah, I'm not going to go into man of the match or anything like that. For me, it's a frustrating night because for me, it's the business end now where your squad is telling, your bench is telling, your in-game management is going to really tell you where you finish, where you win, and for me, that is crucial, mate. And I think when you've only got 2 windows, to just laugh at a window and, we can't do nothing, it's really hard, kind of move on to the next question. And then you don't like the summer window, you don't like the winter window, what the fuck are you going to do when you're trying to sign players? For me, yeah, the quicker Moyes goes, the better. And yeah, I don't like having to go at anyone, especially when there's someone who's worked for our club, mate. But it's going to be healthy for me. And when he goes, hopefully we get someone in. God, I've forgotten what it's like to play good football. I've forgotten what it's like to happily sign players. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought I'd never say this, mate. I miss Harry Redknapp. I thought I'd never say this.
Good old Harry.
Buy 2 players a day, 40 out, 45 players out. That's it from me, mate. Final comments from you, mate. Yeah, and then we'll enjoy
I'm looking forward to Thursday, mate. Let me know where you're heading, and we'll have a beverage, mate. It'll be nice.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take half a day off, so I'll be in London for about... All the boys are coming, so my son's in London. He'll be there. The other one will be there in London, and then I'll be there for about 2, and nice. Not going to drive, and then you know what that means. Get the rum out.
Hey, the rum's on the show.
Actually, just reminding me, I'm going to bring some food for you guys. I'm going to bring some samosas and that in a bag, and we'll see where that goes.
Got a lunch before we tuck into the rum, mate. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Hope the family's well, the little one and everything, and then hopefully see a bit of goals, and I think we'll be all right. But if we're not, it's going to be tasty at home, isn't it? If we don't go through,
yeah, mate,
full packed crowd, it ain't going to go well, mate.
We've got a lot of ticket selling
Uh,
to do to get a full pack crowd, mate. I tell you that now. They'll have to get promoting it and sending us emails about bringing our friends and all that sort of stuff because there's plenty of tickets left available. So
how much is left? Quite a lot.
about 50%, mate. So you get a ticket wherever you want right now. I'm hoping that changes
Oh,
tonight because everyone thinks we've got to get over there and get behind them. But yeah, it's there's not many sold at the moment. Put it that way.
no problem. Take care, mate, and we'll catch
See you
up
later,
next week.
mate.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks everyone in the chat. Take care, mate.